Good morning, everybody. Apologies that this stream has had to be restarted. Something went wrong with the first stream. I had some issues. That the I was getting messages from my phone that said your stream wasn't active or something. I didn't really pay attention. But anyway, good morning. Welcome to. I think we're now in week 6 of working from home here at the new Transport Evolved headquarters, and that means coffee. I've been really good. I've been working out, and then I did some pick-ups for an animation project that I'm working on right now, and it's given me a really amazing smile to my face. Pickups are fun. Certainly, if you've already had an animation, the animation has already taken place. So I'm working with an animator on a project. I don't want to say too much about it right now because I don't think he's said anything about it publicly. But we basically have created a little story together, and we're animating it. And when you're working with animators, every second counts, and so one of the characters that I was voicing, I made her dialogue too long, and so we had to cut it and re-record her line, which is essentially called a pickup. He'd then animated it, and he'd been sat on it for a couple of days going, the voice you did the first time round and the voice you did the second time round are not the same, and he thought maybe he could get away with it, and he couldn't. So I've just had to do the pickup for the line that we replaced, so the second version of the line, but with the first version of the character voice. So I've just spent like 20 minutes, 30 minutes doing that. And because I've been doing it with the animation, it's given me a massive smile on my face. But one of the things that I wanted to talk to you guys about today is a bit of a problem we've got that we need to crowdsource a solution for. And it's a computer problem, but it's not a computer problem like you might have thought. It's a different type of computer problem. And I'm just going to have a snip of coffee. And then I have to show you my chicks, because no Transport Evolved Take 2 video these days is complete without chickens. Especially as my rooster is very loud. I think this is my rooster down here. This little guy here is my Buff Orpington. Not my Buff Orpington, my Lavender Orpington. And says a lot, very, very, very loud, says a lot. But the chicks know me by name now. So if I just say, chuk, 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 they come out to see what the noise is about and what the fuss is. So they are really adorable, and they're doing really well. But that's not really what I want to talk to you about. Again, some people have asked about the Raspberry Pi and how we got the camera. So this is the camera working here. This is an Internet of Things light, running a not Philips Hue. It's like a knockoff version of Philips Hue that we can control and dim the lights when required. We've just got this, so we've got better quality pictures for the webcam. We've also got a Raspberry Pi B. This is the first generation Raspberry Pi B. It's running a Raspbian Lite. It's also running something called FS Webcam and a couple of other libraries. And it automatically uploads pictures from the coop. It takes a photograph from the coop every 10 seconds and stores it internally. And then twice an hour, it's moving because I moved it. I balanced it just right, and now it's moved, and now it's going to be naughty. Every 30 minutes, it takes a photograph and uploads it to Dropbox, and then I've got a script from If This Then That watches my Dropbox and then tweets that through the Flock Cam, I think we called it, Twitter account. So that's how we're doing that. But again, that is not what I want to talk to you about today. Let me turn my grow lamp on, because I've got some tomatoes and peppers and some burpless cucumbers that are in there that are growing, and then they'll be going outside in a couple of days. Good morning. So the problem that I have, and that I think I need you guys' help with, and I know a lot of you guys like modifying hardware, and this is going to be a really short stream, we have some issues with our server room. Namely, that the server room is just overheating a little bit. So, this is the air coming out of the server room. This is the air going into the server room with the dog. A lot of people were asking where we got these from. These are made by AC Infinity. You can buy them on Amazon, eBay, wherever. And they're little fans that you can just install into your door. Literally just cut a hole in the door and install them like that. The issue that we're having though, is that it's getting super hot in here. And now we have the new Transport Evolved server in here. We're struggling thermally to keep this room cool. So this is the outtake fan. It's got a little filter on. So this is sucking warm air out, and this is sucking cool air in. The problem is that this is not sucking enough air, and I'm wondering if any of you guys have any suggestions of any fans that maybe we could use that could be used to improve the airflow. So whether it's a higher volume fan or a faster fan, they have to be pulse width modular. Had to be PWM, pulse width modulation controlled fans. They're powered by these little DC power cables. You can daisy chain them. And the other thing I need to replace is the fan in the top of this server case. Please forgive the mess. Obviously we had to install this in a bit of a hurry last minute, and I need to do some PoE stuff, power over Ethernet. I don't think this one is power over Ethernet ready. I think one of my racks in here probably is. But we have to make this server closet a little bit more efficient with its air. Hi there, Stephen. So in here we have our Philips Hue for the house. We've also got our internet coming in for the house in here. And then we've got two servers. We've got the 45 drives Storinator here. And underneath we've got a server for the family server, which is the old Transport Evolved server, which was the old Transport Evolved edit machine. So this is like a 10-year-old machine, just running Plex and some home automation stuff. This is the main Transport Evolved server. Someone said you could just double your... we've taken the rear of the rack off here. And these are the... we really need a bigger rack. We need to upgrade this, believe it or not. But we don't have any windows in here. Don't worry, that's not on, those are not on, that's not on. This is just some of my vintage computer collection. We've got an X-Serve here that needs to go in there as well, that will be doing some stuff for the house. But I'll just enter the password here. Hopefully, oh no. I don't normally log in using the actual terminal. I just use like a remote session in. There we go. It gets kind of hot. To those of you who were saying, you know, have you managed to sort the problems out with your machine in terms of the SMB stuff? No, we haven't. We still have to restart Samba regularly to keep the performance up. Let's see if I can find, where did I put it? It's pSense, wherever pSense is. Maybe it's not on here. Maybe it's not on here. pSense might not be on this one, and if it isn't, then I need to put it on. But it gets kind of hot in here. I mean, it's 30 degrees Celsius, and me being in here is raising the temperature even more. So we need to really figure out a solution that is really useful, that works. I know I need to fix the tape here holding this on. But if you have any solutions or suggestions as to how we can lower these temperatures, because I'd like this to be, 20 degrees would be the ideal. It's actually gone down since I went in there, which is weird. 25 degrees and 27 degrees. Doesn't feel 25 degrees on the hallway here, but if you have any suggestions, please let me know, because I would be really, really keen to know. While we're here, this is going to become the new Transport Evolved studio. It's currently the guest bedroom. I'm not showing you the walls and stuff, but here is the backup server, which we need to find a co-location hosting space for. So if you know anywhere that has a rack that they would be willing to let us site that for a decent low cost, it needs to basically dial in every now and then, and or probably we will have to dial into that server and push the data rather than pull, because of the rules of our ISP at the moment. But this is the secondary server, just sitting there being nice and quiet and cool. It doesn't use doesn't use a huge amount of electricity, and it's just sitting in there, and it's in this nice quiet case. But obviously it can be rack mounted. Can't move the servers, unfortunately, to get more space. The original Transport Evolved server was in there, and then we switched things around so that the backup server is now, that's there. That was the one that was in the rack, and then the regular server is now in the rack. So that is our goal. So if you have any ideas, there we go. If you can pump air from outside, would that be cooler than air from the hallway? Definitely. One of the things we had thought about doing, it's not about pumping cool air in, it's about getting hot air out. And one of the things we thought about doing was drilling a hole in the ceiling and then venting heat into the loft space and then out through the front of the house. So you could do like a ducting, like you'd have a bathroom fan basically, and pull the heat up and out. The problem is volume of air. That is a lot of challenges. I recommend using a lot of Noctua NF A14 Industrial PPC 3000 PWM. Yes. I don't know if I can get that back, with the intention to having positive air pressure